SAMS, the Chairman of Program ICEBAM 2021. Next, the Honorable Professor Dr. Emiliano T. Hutohan, the Vice President, the International Association of Management and Human Resources Management, or in short term, IAM HRD. The Honorable of the Secretary General KTO, Karatay University, Konya, Turkey, Dr. Hussein Ergan. Welcome, sir. Next, the Honorable of the Dean of Graduate School and Area Chair, Graduate Studies in Business Administration, Jose Rizal University, Manila, Philippines, Dr. Redentor S. Mariano. Welcome, sir. Then, the Honorable, the Director of Polytechnic Sultan Aslan Shah, Malaysia, Sir Enchik Muhammad Zubir bin Moht Hanifa. Welcome, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable of Moderator of Keynote Speaker from Malaysia, Miss Siti Zara. Welcome, Miss. Ladies and gentlemen, this event is organized by the International Collaboration for the International Webinar comprises of first, Faculty of Economy and Business, Halo Ole University, Kendari, Indonesia as an organizer. The second, KTO, Karatay University, Konya, Turkey as a co-organizer. The third, Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah, Perak, Malaysia as a co-organizer. And the last, Jose Rizal University, Manila, Philippines as a co-organizer. This event facilitated by International Association of Management and Human Resources Development. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to transition into next agenda. We are going to start by singing the national anthem of Indonesia Raya. All participants are pleased to stand up in your good position. Thank you. All participants are pleased to sit down. Next agenda is praying. Allow me to call Sir Fitriaman SA MSA. Time is pleasantly yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, let us bow our head for a moment, pray to good Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, so that our international conference can be precious to all of us. I will lead this prayer based on the teaching of Islam. On those who are not Muslim, you are pleased to pray according to each of your beliefs. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Hamdan yuafi ni'mahu wa yukafi mazidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karim wa azima sultanik. Allahumma inna nas'aluka salamatan fid din wa afiyatan fil jasad wa ziyadatan fil ilmi wa barakatan fil rizqi wa taubatan qabla al maut wa rahmatan 'inda al maut wa maghfiratan ba'da al maut ya Allah. Allahumma ighfir lana wa liwalidayna wa lil muslimina wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka as-sami'ul qaribun mujibud da'wat wa ya qadiyal hajat. Oh Allah, today in this beautiful place, we gather here to bring about an international conference on economic management, business and management. Make this international conference as a useful science assembly to as a medium of sharing useful idea, knowledge, and experience of scholars, researchers, and students of various disciplines. May the conference we organize today benefit to our life, broaden our knowledge, science our idea, and lead us to be successful, productive person, which in turn with both dignity of our nation. Oh Allah, guide and bless all our hearts and our minds with the light of your guidance. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities. Help us to speak our minds clearly. Help us to listen to each other, respect each other, love each other, so that we are included to the blessed person. Oh Allah, protect us from unity temptation, so as the right path, and give us knowledge and strength to perform good things equally, so as and make it clearly to the bad things, and give us knowledge and strength to avoid them. Oh Allah, you are the one who can fulfill our doa. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adzaban nar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamun alal mursalin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, thank you so much for the prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, the honorable distinguished guest, next agenda is introductory greeting by Dr. Sriyati Mahrani as the chairman of Program First International Conference of Economy, Business and Management. Time is pleasantly yours, Madam.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All praise is due to Allah for enabling us to meet together in this international conference. Peace and solution be open to the noble prophet of Islam, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his household, his companions, and his faithful followers until the end of time. The Honorable Professor Dr. Muhammad Samrun, MSc, MSc, Rector Haru Oleo University, Honorable Professor Dr. Haji Arifuddin Masud, SM, MSc, AK, CA, ACPA, Head of Department of Faculty of Economic and Business, Halu Oleo University, as organizer of this seminar, Honorable Professor Dr. Emiliano Tehutohan, Vice President, the International Association of Management and Human Resource Development. Honorable Dr. Redentor S. Mariano, Dean of Graduate School and Area Chair, Graduate Studies in Business Administration, Jose Rizal University, Philippines. Honorable Dr. Hussein Ergun, Secretary General, KTO Karatay University, Konya, Turkey. The Honorable Enric Muhammad Zubir bin Muhammad Hanifa, Director of Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah, Malaysia. Honorable all keynote speakers and presenters of plenary session of International Conference of Economic and Business and Management. I would like to say thank you very much for the entire committee of the International Conference who had hard work to prepare this seminar with good, and especially to all the guests of this conference. The theme of this international conference is to set sustainability and development of business management and final embracing the new normal era. This seminar aims to discuss information in the form of knowledge and science and technology related to the business management and finance. Ladies and gentlemen, at this conference, we will get a lot of important information about business management and finance in the new normal era. By this, I will represent the entire committee, and this conference beneficial to all. So my opening remarks, thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, thank you very much for the speech, Madam. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the next introductory greeting by Professor Dr. Emiliano Tehutohan as the Vice President of the International Association of Management and Human Resources Development, or IMHRD. Time is pleasantly yours, sir. Excuse me, I'm going to call Professor Dr. Emiliano Tehutohan. Okay, I do apologize. We do apologize.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay. Yes, time is pleasantly yours, sir.
Good morning, everyone. In behalf of the International Association of Management and Human Resource Development, IMHRD, our president and founder, Dr. Saniho Munir, I am welcoming you as participant in this important webinar. I am Emiliano Tehutohan, and I have been associated with Dr. Munir for the past 16 years when we were together at Philippine Women's University, and recently as co-faculty pioneers of the Doctor of Philosophy in Social Development at the University of Mindanao, Southern Philippines. The association, I am HRD. We are proud to work together with Dr. Aslisa Yosef, Director from Malaysia, Dr. Sri, Director from Indonesia, Dr. Kamula Bayram, Director from Turkey, Dr. Pedro Pedram, Director from Iran, Dr. Abdul Rahman Ayub, Director from Malaysia, Dr. Jeswani Sakit, Director from India, Director Mustafa Muhammad, Director from Uganda, and our new member, Dr. Violeta Jerusalem, Vice Director of the Association. This webinar is most important because of the new era, and the World Economic Forum has cited that the transformation of society and business from the COVID-19 to gradually towards the new economy in the new normal era requires innovation and creativity for the economic and business sector. And most important, since we are with the educational institutions, the schools and universities are challenged to create new skills, namely creativity and innovation. Secondly, becoming a global and local citizens. And thirdly, to create some interpersonal and intrapersonal relationships. And finally, to have utmost technological skills. I just would like to note and congratulate that 4 out of 5 keynote speakers today are women. And the 21st century has been named as the century of women because in the past, when men were drummers, they used it to march and to go to war and create dominance through violence. But today, the world needs the loving and caring perspective of our feminine society. And these 4 women you will hear today represents the galactic mother, which is the universe that is feminine, Mother Earth that is feminine. And in each of our culture, we have respect and role of women as part of society that has to nurture and care not only for ourselves, our community, but also for the environment. So we proceed, and I acknowledge your presence in this most important webinar for the new era that we are experiencing. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for the speech, sir. Next, I would like to special greeting to our rector of Halo University, Professor Dr. Muhammad Zamrun, MSc, MSc, who just joined in this Zoom meeting. Welcome, sir.
Okay,
Well, next agenda is welcoming remarks, and simultaneously we'll open this international webinar by Professor Dr. Muhammad Zamrun, MSc, MSc, Director of Halu Oleo University, Indonesia. Time is pleasantly yours, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, and very good morning to all the keynote speaker, all the participants of this seminar. Really apologize for letting attend this webinar because I have another meeting this morning. So I'm very sorry for this late. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to all of us who attend this webinar. Pertama-tama, praise to the God, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the Almighty, for His grace, and also First of all, I would like to congratulate to the Professor Arifuddin, the Dean of Faculty of Economic and Business of Hallelujah University, who organized this very good webinar today. Honorable Professor Dr. Emiliano C. Hudan, the Vice President, the International Association of Management and Human Resource Development. Thank you very much for your invaluable presence presenting in this representing of IAMHRD to facilitate this conference. Thank you very much, sir. And Honorable Dr. Redentor S. Mariano, the Dean of Graduate School and Area Chair, Graduate Studies in Business Administration, Jose Rizal University, the Philippines, as the co-organizer. Welcome to this conference. Even you are not coming here to Kendari, but I hope someday you will visit us or we will visit you in Philippines to make our collaboration will be very more stronger, and then keep a long time collaboration between your university and our university, of course. Honorable Dr. Hussein Ergun, the Secretary General KCO Karatai University Konya, Turkey, as the co-organizer. Assalamualaikum and welcome, sir. And Honorable NC Muhammad Zubir bin Muhammad Hanifa, the Director of Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah, Malaysia, is also as a co-organizer of this conference. And also, of course, the distinguished keynote speaker of this conference. As we know, our keynote speaker today, they are all women. It's surprisingly that now women take a very important contribution in all field of, and especially in economics, of course. Mrs. Dr. Sanihu Munir from Indonesia, and then Dr. Violeta Jerusalem from Philippines, Dr. Asliza Yusuf from Malaysia, Dr. Dan Zhang from China, and Dr. Kamala Bayram from Turkey. Your presentation, of course, today will be enlighten the participant with more information about the research of this field. And of course, thank you to all the organizing committee of this conference with your work hard, and then maybe this conference preparing is not only for 1 day or 2 days. I think this conference is prepared for a long time ago. You have to communicate each other. You have to communicate with people who will contribute in this seminar. Thank you for your contribution, so for your work, and then to make this webinar happen today. Thank you very much. And also, of course, this webinar provide an excellent opportunity to bring together. Usually, we discuss directly, and then we have in the room, meeting in the room, face to face, between one and another, and then we can discuss many more about the topic, what you do in your country, what you do in your faculty, and then what we do in our field, our university. But today, because the pandemic of COVID-19, so we cannot meeting face to face, but Alhamdulillah, we can see each other even through the Zoom online meeting. But I do hope this meeting will be very helpful to all of us to make our collaboration more stronger. Of course, this webinar will be very useful to all of us, especially to the participant of the seminar. By knowing each other, of course, we can make future collaboration between the participant, between the participant and the speaker, between the participant and invited speaker, and then you can communicate directly between two of you. I hope, of course, through the seminar, you can discuss many things about the new topic in this field and anything you can do, and then to make the future collaboration between all of you. The first International Conference of Economic Business and Management is the first conference hosted by the Faculty of Economic and Business of Haluleo University in Indonesia in collaboration with Jose Rizal University of Philippines, KCO Karatai University of Turkey, and Sultan Azlan Shah Polytechnic of Malaysia. And of course, facilitated by the Internal Association of Management and Human Resource Development. The theme of this International Conference on Economic, Business and Management 2021 is the sustainability and the development of business management and finance, embracing the new normal era. I highly expect that this conference raise many important things in the discussion room and the proceeding, of course. So because we can communicate not only by face-to-face, but also we can communicate as a scientist through our paper in the journal. We can communicate each other, and then we can discuss many things. I do hope this conference will be very helpful to all of us, especially the participants. And I do hope this conference not only stop here, and then when the conference over, the communication over. I don't hope like that, but the conference is over, but the communication still continue, yeah, between you, between all of you. I do hope this conference will be useful for all of us, for our collaboration between our university. And I do hope someday when the pandemic is over, and then we can visit each other. Maybe you can come to Haluleo University Kendari, or we visit university. And then I do hope in the near future this will be happen, and then our collaboration more stronger. By Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, by saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, this conference is officially open. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you. I do hope you enjoy the conference. Yeah, even you cannot meet directly, but you can enjoy the communication through the online meeting as we do today. Thank you very much, and I am very sorry if many inconvenience during this conference. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, thank you so much for the speech, sir, and just opened this section in this first international seminar. Well, next is welcoming remarks by Dr. Redentor S. Mariano as a Dean of Graduate School and Area Chair, Graduate Studies in Business Administration, Jose Rizal University, Philippines. Time is pleasantly yours, sir.
Good morning, everyone. To the distinguished participants of the First International Conference on Economic and Business and Management, ICEBAM, is the first conference hosted by the faculty, as mentioned earlier, Faculty of Economics and Business. I would also like to address from Haluleo University, Kendari, Indonesia, in collaboration with my university, Jose Rizal University, KTO Katara University, Turkey, and Sultan Asham Shah Polytechnic, Malaysia, wherein it facilitated by the Human Resource Development. With the theme this year, Sustainability and Development of Business Management of Finance, Embracing the New Normal. I would also like to recognize the presence of my faculty and students, or also my agent who are also here as part of this particular audience. Dear everyone, the global health crisis caused by COVID-19 impacted research activities, as we know, undertaken by higher educational institutions, research centers, research groups in a variety of ways. Despite significant effort to decrease the effects of this pandemic crisis, some researchers around the world have been or are focused into social isolation, and they had to interrupt face-to-face meeting with their colleagues, as we are experiencing now, which had an adverse effect on the work within research terms. Furthermore, during the peak of the pandemic, or we're still going to the peak of the pandemic as in the Philippines, several activities in research laboratories were interrupted. This has been in the delay in scheduling of many research projects. Of course, the most important thing is to discuss face-to-face, but it's also difficult to discuss online because you have to at least recognize the movement and also the exchange of ideas, especially if you are together in one particular room. As my favorite philosopher, Plato, it is a discussion wherein you get more and more ideas. Research centers are redesigning and adjusting their research policies to try to respond to their partnership as we are going on at the moment and stakeholders while trying to maintain the strongest local impact. Particularly research on sustainable development encompass more critical issues than other issues in research. From different approaches and disciplines, sustainability research has been characterized as facing multidimensional challenges of the complex relationship between the environment, the economy, societies, prosperity. Thus, the spread of COVID-19 is upsetting climate and biodiversity meetings around the world. A common axiom in sustainability research is the intersection between complex networks of interaction and cultural, territorial, organizational, institutional, infrastructural aspects. This has motivated the transition from sustainability to participatory and transdisciplinary research approaches to accelerate their impacts and magnify them in a long term, or to succeed in a problem-focused research. Remember, today, there is a change in lifestyle. Ordinary persons or people must stay at home. Most are lined up in the hospital emergency room. Few are in groceries. Because of this, economy is affected. The usual cycle of consumer-seller, where the invisible hand theory of Adam Smith seemed to make a stop. Economy of scale, economies of scale are costs as defined, advantages reaped by companies when production becomes efficient. However, no employees can work. Low production. Delivery of raw materials are affected. Working hours is limited. Is this a blink horizon? Can we still see a sunlight towards the end of the tunnel? Can we turn these challenges again into opportunities? I believe in my author in philosophy in evolution that there is always a spark of light that will give us hope that one day, we will see light again. I wish you all a very successful webinar. Let us show and emphasize that researchers around the globe are partners for development and societal transformation. My dear colleagues, good morning and good luck to this webinar. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for the speech, sir. Next is welcoming remarks by Professor Dr. Arifuddin Masood, SA, MSE, AKCA, ACPA, the head of Department of Faculty of Economy and Business, Halo Oleo University, Indonesia. Time is pleasantly yours, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Praise be to God, the Almighty, for His blessing to this one ICEBAM conference. It is a remarkable work of Faculty of Economic and Business Halileo University, Kendari, Indonesia, in collaboration with Ecological University, Philippines, Keynote Karate University, Turkey, in Sultan Aslan Shah Polytechnic, Malaysia, facilitated by International Association of Management and Human Resource Development to hold this international conference. Ladies and gentlemen, I would be like welcome our international webinar participant at the FIRE's International Conference on Economic, Business and Management in accordance with the theme of the FIRE's ICEBAM, Sustainability and Development of Business Management and Finance, embracing the new normal area. It is expected this conference will come up with valuable contribution to the development of research in the area of business management and finance, especially in the related topic. Ladies and gentlemen, my highest appreciation to our committee members who will work hard to prepare to agenda. Hopeful the FIRE's ICEBAM can run smoothly and able to answer the future challenge. Akhirul kalam, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, thank you so much for the speech, sir. Next, the fourth welcoming remarks by Dr. Hussein Ergan, the Secretary General KTO Karatay University, Konya, Turkey. Time is pleasantly yours, sir. Excuse me, allow me to call Dr. Hussein Ergan, the Secretary General KTO Karatay University, Konya, Turkey. Okay, we jump into the next agenda. The last welcoming remarks by Sir Encik Muhammad Zubir bin Mohd Hanifah, Director of Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah, Malaysia. Time is pleasantly yours, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Professor Dr. Emilio Hatuhan, Vice President, the International Association of Management and Human Resource Development, Professor Dr. Muhammad Zamrun, Rector of Halu Oleo University, Professor Dr. Arifuddin Maksud, Dean of Faculty of Economic and Business, Halu Oleo University, Indonesia, Dr. Rendato S. Mariano, Dean of Graduate School and Area Chair, Graduate Studies in Business Administration, Hura Rizal University, Philippines. Dr. Hussein Ergan, Secretary General, KTO Karate University, Turkey. Dr. Sriyati Mahrani, Chairman of Program First ICEBAM 2021, Halu Oleo University in Indonesia. Key speakers, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me pleasure to extend to you all a warm welcome on behalf of my institution, Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah, Malaysia, and to say how grateful we are to be part of the first International Conference on Economic, Business and Management, ICEBAM 2021, Halu Oleo University, Indonesia, with the theme Sustainability and Development of Business Management and Finance during the New Normal Era. It is an opportune time to strengthen existing relationships and network, as well as to establish a new set of networking and obtain as much knowledge and insight through this conference. It is our sincere hope that this conference will provide a platform for a better understanding on economic, business, and management, especially in relation to challenges in the post of new normal era of COVID-19. Online conferences have been the room due to the current pandemic, but it should not deter our institution in sharing knowledge in an academic manner. It is gratifying to note that the agenda of the conference covers 5 keynote speakers from countries in Southeast Asia, Turkey, and China. I'm sure that these speakers will share on various fields that would be helpful to all of us in increasing our knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, economic, business, and management are fields that are constantly being revolutionized. The revolution is not taking place at an institution level, but at a national and international level. Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah, for example, focused on business entrepreneurship and has produced students who are successful entrepreneurs. It is hoped that would venture in great stride in other fields too, as it is an open market out there and offer great opportunity. Fourth Industrial Revolution, or known as 4IR, is one of the main areas which heavily discussed around the world. It is an umbrella term which foresees the birth of emerging technologies, and thus economics, business, and management are fields that will aid this revolution. The advancement of the technology in recent years has been too remarkable that anyone who does not keep up will be left behind. And this is something we all would like to ensure does not happen to our students. As part of the Industrial Revolution 4.0, the implementation of gig economy is seen as the relevant and simple. It can be implemented online by applying innovation that has been developed according to its required need. Due to this, gig economy has been the choice of most of the younger generation these days. MDEC, Malaysian Development Economic Corporation 2020 stated that the digital economic progressiveness and its development towards the Industrial Revolution 4.0 in Malaysia will be spearheaded by the younger generation in Malaysia. And I believe in Southeast Asia too. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, Malaysia had lately been hit by another wave of COVID-19 pandemic with an average of 20,000 new positive cases daily. The COVID-19 pandemic that has hit us since early last year had changed the way the economic, the business, the education, the management, social, and even our personal life operate. It requires us to stay relevant and ready to respond to challenges. In Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah, we aim to create the future. For us to create the future, it requires for us in Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah to develop a strong spirit, knowledge, commitment, ability, and skill to handle challenges. We have no other choice but for polytechnics, our polytechnic, to continuously excel, be known, and stay rooted at the heart of the nation as one of the country's TVET providers. In Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah, we pay great attention and train our students to have strong spirit, especially on developing business creativity and innovativeness. In order to achieve this and align with our role as TVET provider, we emphasize on the experiential learning. There were 3 success business startups in the last 18 months created by our students in the area of fashion, food supply, and fabric. One such startup was developed by engineering student when the general assumption was it would be a business student. This has confirmed research finding that non-business students are equally talented and determined in creating and founding a business. We might admit that it was not easy for both our lecturers and students to have come this far, but with strong determination and support, especially the soft support from the institution, we were together made our student dream a reality. For this strong spirit and innovativeness for the year 2020 and the first 6 months this year, Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah has received few recognition from the ministry, such as Most Participate Poly CC Award, First Sale Achievement, Second Bosman Icon Award, Second and Third Video Marketing Award, the Third Media Creation Award, Third Place Best Creation Entrepreneur Challenge. Ensuring the success of business innovation, it is not something easy. We need to do homework and know the game before playing. This is what Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah has been doing. We assist our students in doing their homework and guide them to play their game well. Ladies and gentlemen, there was one study conducted by lecturer in Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah entitled The Effectiveness of Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah Virtual Mall as Gig Economy Platform in increasing the digital entrepreneurship skill of students in the B40 segment in Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah. This virtual mall is developed as a platform in gig economy to stimulate students' interest toward entrepreneurship. After going through a few stages of the feedback received, 26 students were really interested, were coached and mentored through the single loop learning concept until they were able to master the digital entrepreneurship skill required. Gig economy is a model that is conducted without an employer that offers services and skill as freelance to people. This model can be conducted on full-time or part-time basis by people who are interested without much emphasis on their age or background knowledge. A steady growth in the digital technology has been the implementation of gig economy made easier and generated the interest of younger generation. From a global perspective, and with a steady growth in digital technology, the gig economy platform offers a wide range of employment opportunity to both employers and employees alike. While the global population is struggling in the COVID-19 pandemic, that has hampered the economic flow the world over, that has caused many of lose their job. Gig economy is seen as a very efficient to be implemented to help people with their daily expenses. In our study, interested students were coached and mentored using the single loop learning concept until they were able to obtain the desired result, which was digital entrepreneurship skill that encompass 3 skills. These skills were identifying the source of online entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship communication online, and managing e-transaction. The result of the study showed that students have the online entrepreneurship communication skill and the skill to manage a high rate of e-transaction after going through the coaching and mentoring in managing PISA's VMall. PISA's virtual mall, actually. It also showed that coaching and mentoring that was conducted through the Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah virtual mall platform had managed to improve student mastery ability in digital entrepreneurship. Therefore, we conclude that this platform could be the moving factor to gig economy among students that could help them financially in the long run. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah, Malaysia, are keen to strengthen our network and collaboration with the other institutions and industry in expanding our knowledge and capability in building innovativeness and competitiveness of our student creation in relation to economic, business, and management. We believe such collaboration as part of our mutual interest. We also believe in other success stories out there that we could learn something from. We welcome everyone here to get in touch with our Internationalization unit that led by Dr. Asliza for more collaboration activities, especially in the area of economic, business, and management. We look forward to joining hands with everyone to foster an even closer educational collaboration and jointly made constitution to create more creative, innovative, and risk-taking business creator among our students. It was my personal hope that by having this conference, issues and challenges can be foreseen and discussed in order to valuable feasibility input can be gained and gathered, especially the educators to be in full force before embracing a new technology that being offered. Before I end my speech, I would like to congratulate and express my gratitude to all of who have been working hard in making sure today's event is a success. Congratulations. In our pleasure to have all of you today virtually, and hopefully whatever is being shared today we turn out to be beneficial to each other and everyone present here. Thank you. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you very much for the speech, sir. Next agenda is signing MOU or Memorandum of Understanding to signify officially collaboration between Faculty of Economy and Business, Halu Oleh University, and IAM HRD, represented by Dr. Sanihu Munir and Professor Dr. Haji Arifuddin Masud. Please come and forward to sign the MOU or Memorandum of Understanding. Well, we do apologize. To signify the MOU will be represented by Professor Dr. Muhammad Zamrun as the rector of Halu Oleh University and Dr. Sanihu Munir. Please come and forward to sign the Memorandum of Understanding.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. So the Memorandum of Understanding will be signified by a rector of Halu Oleh University and the representative of IAM HRD.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And then the next signing MOU will be signified by Dr. Sanihu Munir. In this place. Yes, the next signing of MOU will be signified by Dr. Sanil Munir officially to create a collaboration between Faculty of Economy and Business and IMHRD. Well, we would like to say thank you so much for Professor Dr. Muhammad Zamrun and Dr. Sanihu Munir to signify the MOU or Memorandum of Understanding between collaboration of IMHRD and Faculty of Economy and Business, Halo Oleo University.
Thank you, Prof. Zamrun.
Okay, thank you very much. I will sign it directly today when the MOU is in my desk. So I will sign today. Thank you. Thank you very much for your collaboration, for your attention, and many attention of from you to Faculty of Economic and Business of Halo University. Hoping you are in good health and good condition always. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we jump into the main section of today, we would like to inform before presenting time begins, please set your name to into the real name and complete name format. Well, okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we move to the main agenda today is submission of events to moderator of keynote speaker session. I would like to invite Miss Siti Sarah from Malaysia to handle this session. But first things first, allow me to call Miss Siti Sarah, sorry. Have you been in Zoom meeting? Okay. So yeah, in honor, time is pleasantly yours, Miss.
Okay, thank you to our MC today. Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us at the first International Conference on Economic, Business and Management, first ICEBAM 2021. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Siti Sarah Yaakob Zubir, and I'll be your moderator for keynote speeches. A little bit about myself. Currently, I'm attached with the Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah as a senior lecturer at the Department of Civil Engineering. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizer of the first ICEBAM for giving trust in me to host this very important session of keynote speeches from well-known speakers from the neighboring countries. I'm glad to welcome our speakers for today that will present their points of interest. First, let me briefly introduce all the speakers. For today, we have Dr. Violeta Jerusalem from Philippines. Next, we will have Dr. Asliza Yusuf from Malaysia. Then we have Dr. Sanihu Munir from Indonesia. And we also have Dr. Dan Zhang from China. Last but not least, we have Dr. Kamala Bayram from Turkey. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any question during the presentation, you may type it in the chat room or hold it until the designated question and answer session at the end of all speeches. Just a reminder to all the presenters, time given for each speech is about 7 to 10 minutes. I will inform you about the time at minute 9, so you will have 1 more minute left to wrap up your speech. Now, without further ado, we will turn over to our first presenter. Our first presenter is Dr. Violeta Jerusalem from Philippines. She is currently a graduate faculty at Jose Rizal University in Education and Business Program and the coordinator of the modular program in business in the same university. Dr. Jerusalem was president of Concordia International College Global for over 4 years. For today, Dr. Violeta will present a study entitled Transportable Intelligence as Correlates in Sustaining Business Management in the New Normal. Please welcome Dr. Violeta Jerusalem. Over to you, Doctor.
Very much, Madam Siti. And may I share my presentation because I have a very short time to do that. Let me see. There. Can you see my slide? Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much to the organizer of this conference. The title of my paper this morning is Transportable Intelligences as Correlates in the theme that we have, Sustaining Business Management in the New Normal. And I would like to focus only on 3 keywords: transportable intelligences, and the new normal, which has been explained a lot this morning. And another important keyword, adaptive. We all know that we are in an
I'm sorry, all the other participants. Sorry. Okay. Okay, back to Dr. Violeta. Please proceed your speech. Dr. Violeta, please unmute your mic.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
As I am mentioning, we are all in an organization and we look at our organization as a field. And that field is a living space. And the living space where we are in includes individuals with their own psychological environment. So therefore, as members of these organizations, we are concerned on persons' behavior because we interact between individuals and the environment and the individual's living space. I would like also at this point to say that we should also respect the non-living things inside our offices. The building, you know, the technology, the machines, because without these machines, we cannot work properly. So we also have to respect them. Okay, we now go to the next one. What are my objectives for this very short discussion? I would like to discuss some of the models and theories that are important to us as business leaders using a very important intelligence theory, the multiple intelligences, and correlating this with the adaptive leadership model. The concept of multiple intelligences is about intrapersonal and interpersonal intelligences. When we talk of intrapersonal skills, we are trying to correlate to ourselves who we are, business operations in our workplace. And according to Hoyle and Davidson, these intelligences or skills are transportable. They can automatically be transferred from one context to the other. And according to Hoyles and Davidson, this concept is what we call an attribute of self-regulation. Self-regulation skills ultimately contribute to our adaptive behavior and productivity, especially in this time of the new normal era. These self-regulation skills counteract the undesired influences that may arise from within the person or from the environment. Okay. Intrapersonal, that is what I want to focus. Support volitional behavior and discretionary behavior. Meaning as a person, we should try and behave on our own self in order to accomplish the goal that we set for ourselves. As we should be planfulness, self-discipline. We should delay gratification. As business leaders, we should always delay gratification and forget about the praises coming from our subordinates. We must have the ability to deal with and overcome distractions, and we must be able to adjust one's strategy and approach as needed. Now, with this intrapersonal skill coming from our own self, and that should be volitional, we can now correlate this intrapersonal skill with another model of leadership called Hafet's adaptive leadership. Gardner's theory of MI, multiple intelligences, increases identification of ourselves with others as a potential sources of knowledge. And this is a tool for us to recognize, to respect, and benefit from now diversity in the workplace that is coming from Voss. According to Hoyles, we should have self-management development. We should have the ability to work remotely in virtual teams, just like what we are doing now. We should be able to work autonomously and be self-motivating and self-monitoring. And we must have the willingness and ability to acquire new information and skills related to work. The common thread, according to Hoyles, of this intrapersonal skill is self-regulation. We should be able to regulate ourselves, our thoughts, our feelings, our actions that are planned and cyclically adapted to the attainment of personal goals. This process of self-regulation, by which one monitors, directs attention, maintains, and modifies behaviors to approach a desirable goal. Now, I want to go back. How do we now connect this intrapersonal skill with the adaptive model for organization? Hafet's adaptive model for organization. This model is a cycle when organizations encounter or design intentional destabilizing events, just like what is happening now. And using now to help us as leaders in our organization to adapt these destabilizing events, the Hafet's adaptive model will try to move the whole system to a high level of performance. And when we talk of discontinuities, we are challenging the status quo, just like what we are doing now. We cannot all the time be afraid of COVID. We have to do something so that we can move forward. So therefore, leaders must establish a new vision for the future. And because these continuities that we are now experiencing because of the COVID gives us adaptive strain like tension created by pulling apart a rubber. And I think most of us understand what this means and can feel what this means. According to Hafet, every team, this is how we do. We are now in a volatile situation, and we all know that we are in a VUCA world. Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. But because of the COVID, we are now in this cauldron. And there are so many things that are happening now, which we as leaders must be able to adapt. And according to Hafetz, this is, we should let go. We should be able to have that neutral presence and be able to understand what is coming. And according to our theme, that's what we call the new normal. And according to Hafet, we should all not be so pessimistic about it. There is a time when from this volatility, even if we now is in this stage, we should be able to slowly go to our vision, which is the new normal. In other words, organization now should create the potential for transformation, changes in behavior, changes in what we believe on, and changes in our organization's identity. Thus, if we make this adaptive change according to Hafez, the whole organization moves toward higher performance and lasting change, both global and local, aligning everyone else, technology, people, yet preserving, this is very important, yet preserving the unique characteristic of the organization. That is wonderful to understand according to Hafez. Okay? Hafez model is very important to us leaders. Okay. The tenets of Hafez's adaptive leadership, following the four main tenets, are tied to what we call adaptive leadership correlating with transportable intelligence. First, we must have the MI, the intrapersonal and interpersonal intelligence. And then we develop the character of our people within the organization. But we must always adhere to our organization's justice and culture. And with that, according to Hafez, we are ready for the new normal and the new era. Again, what do we need according to Hafez? According to Hafez's adaptive leadership, number one, emotional intelligence, which is transportable, meaning people can easily capture our intrapersonal intelligences. So if we have this emotional intelligence, we have the ability to recognize our own feelings, control it, be volitional about it, and we should also be able to understand other people. But we have also to take care of our organization, and we must foster the culture of our organization based on the culture of honesty, based on willingness to accommodate other people's views, and we should try to assure our people that they are valued and respected. When we talk of development, and I think this is actually what has been recognized in this conference, is to be able for us participants to learn new things, discover new strategies, and our employees and company can experience growth and development. And I think this is the main concern of our webinar, that for us who are present, that for us who are members of this organization and participants, we will be able to learn from each other, just like what I saw in one of the, we are only one drop, but if we go together, we become an ocean. I like that. And at the same time, we develop the character of our people. When we talk of developing the character of our people inside the organization, we give them the feeling, the deep sense of character, being transparent and creative. And leaders, of course, they should realize we may not always be right all the time, but we should earn the respect of those whom we work with and practice what we think they can recommend for us. So with that, I would like to say thank you everyone for listening, and I hope that we see each other again in the next conference. Thank you, Siti, for your kind introduction.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Violeta. I hope you all enjoyed the amazing presentation of Dr. Violeta. Now, we proceed to our second presenter, Dr. Aziza Yusof from Malaysia. Dr. Aziza Yusof is a senior lecturer at Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah with 2 decades of experience in finance, statistics, business management, and entrepreneurship fields of study. Currently, she is also the head of internationalization unit in her institution. Please welcome Dr. Aziza Yusof. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. I would like to begin my speech today by drawing everyone's attention to a famous quote that says, when everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. So what it means by this quote is that in life and work, people believe they have priorities. We ourselves believe that we do have priorities, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is in the plural form, which means that each one is a first. So if we consider each item is a priority, it actually negates the real meaning of the term. Therefore, nothing becomes a priority. So the same thing applies to business. Let us go back to 2 years ago in 2019, before the C-19 pandemic hit us. What was our business priority back then? If we are a business owner, our priority back then might focus on how to attract our potential customers to know, to fall in love with our products, and then to buy them. So in this case, we would do anything we could in order to draw them to us. But in the next 2 years, should the pandemic stay the same or should it subside, we should expect another huge shift in business prioritization. Businesses today are clearly telling us that they plan to emphasize on a few new areas, such as workforce safety and security, cost management, and also business agility. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to draw your attention to business agility, which is actually the focus of my speech today. So the question is, what is business agility? Business agility can be defined as the ability to survive and flourish in unstable environment, such as during the C-19 pandemic like today, where a lot of things are uncertain. But another question is, why is business agility so important? According to a recent Mercer report, 51% of the organizations lack a business continuity strategy for dealing with unexpected emergencies and disasters, such as the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. And evidently, many businesses are not very flexible enough to handle severe market and operational disruptions during a crisis. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, especially young entrepreneurs here with us this morning, I believe lots of us here are currently engaging in a kind of business that we are passionate about. So implementing an agility strategy for our business is an important decision. It takes planning and commitment, yes, but believe me, it is achievable with the right roadmap. So that now we understand that business agility is actually the agility to survive. But the question is how? So how are we going to stay agile in our business today? So I'm sharing here today 4 essential steps to creating an effective business agility strategy during today's C-19 pandemic. The first one, ladies and gentlemen, is to change our business mindset. This is the most important part of the agility plan. If the old mindset stays, agility plan will find difficulties along its way of implementation. Why? This is because agility itself means being prepared to break out of comfort zone at any time. So the first thing we need to do is to change our mindset. And of course, our poor business culture when it comes to business planning. And we have to admit that a static business plan actually hinders agility. So we have to adopt a more flexible approach to leaderships, to workflows, and also interactions to remove obstacles that might stand in the way of rapid and drastic transformations. During the past 1.5 years, with the spread of C-19 pandemic, we can see how restaurants are shutting down, fast food places are drive-through only, major retailers are closing their doors, theme parks and hotels have halted operations in an effort to keep our community safe. So while this is happening on a large scale, what about us? So what about us who are operating on a smaller scale? We also have to take proactive steps to protect our small family of employees, our customers, and also neighborhoods. And as the coronavirus is more severe, now is actually the perfect time to regroup and focus on how business will recover and get back to growth. So don't get discouraged if we feel like we have to start from scratch. This is actually a tough economical time for all. So keep our perseverance alive and have a bailout plan in place so that our business can heal in a timely manner. Secondly, it is very important in order for us to stay agile in our business today to become truly social on SOCMED. So I'm sure as the C-19 caused the country to shut down back in March 2020, we found ourselves being as isolated from our business relationships. But always remember that when one door shuts, other doors will definitely open. So this is the time when we need to become truly social on SOCMED. SOCMED today has become a lifeline between businesses and their customers. So when we use social media to bring value, to bring free value to our potential customers, to build and maintain our business relationships. And also businesses must go beyond just posting creative content on our SOCMED platforms. We must also interact with our followers. Following back our potential customers on SOCMED can do wonders actually for building online relationships. Liking posts, responding to comments will actually further build the relationship. So validating our followers by doing these simple steps can actually turn them into our potential customers and clients. Although these items are very easy to do, it is actually surprising how many small businesses and brands only post content on SOCMED, but they do not actually socialize with followers in return. So be prompt when customers' inquiries arise. We can use auto reply, of course, but remember that, of course, is when an absence of human touch exists. So it is no use to give our customers all the FBs, all the Instagrams, all the WhatsApp number, email, etc. if there is no human touch and delaying in responding to their needs and inquiries. So building relationships with customers through SOCMED is actually a give and take. Just like in any other relationship, it cannot be one-sided. It has to be two-way communication. Going to number three. Number three is understanding customer needs and expectation. So here we go by the motto, meet your customers where they are, which means that we ourselves, the seller, the entrepreneur, we have to go to our customers. We cannot expect our customers to come to us, or else the agility hinders. Customers' normal pattern of life today have come to a halt. Simple activities like trip to a grocery store or dining out with friends are now very difficult, risky, or even prohibited in some countries. Most physical stores are now closing until further notice, and many companies, for example, in the hospitality or entertainment sector, have actually frozen their services to respect the rules of social distancing and also self-isolation. So we can see that the demand patterns have shifted overnight. So we at a smaller scale, what should we do in relation to understanding customer needs and expectation? So ladies and gentlemen, first of all, this is the time that we need to go digital. The C-19 pandemic is a reality check for businesses that have been reluctant to embrace digital transformation and now find themselves woefully unprepared. We don't have any other choice, but in order for us to stay agile in today's uncertain business environment, we definitely have to go digital. So ladies and gentlemen, improve our digital channel. If we plan to stay agile, we will need to rethink our customer experience and find ways to deliver on customer preferences and needs through digital only channels. We have to do that. We don't have any other choice. So if we keep on relying on traditional customer footfall to deliver our experience, we will definitely be challenged to compete in this new world. Secondly, we have to close that last mile. What does it mean by close the last mile? When people are afraid to go out of their house to shop for necessities, so the demand for home delivery are now increasing by days. Digital delivery has become a necessity for most customers who are confined at home. Home delivery now has gone from a convenience to a necessity. If previously people use home delivery for a convenient reason, but today they choose home delivery for a necessity reason. So in some countries, home delivery options have expanded beyond food. For example, pharmacies now offer extended free trials on their prescription delivery service, and car dealership on the other extent offer to pick up and drop off vehicles for repair and maintenance. So this is what we call close the mile. Make a move now if we want to stay agile, provide delivery service, and go partnering with companies that offer scale capabilities in areas like home delivery and digital ordering. For example, in Malaysia, we have Food Panda, we have Grab Food, we have Grab Mart, Lala Move, to mention a few. So I'm sure Indonesia also have similar delivery service companies. Go partner with them to ensure our customers' needs can be met. Last one, number 4, get mental health support, but I think we are out of time. So I'm going to touch a little bit on this. We have to remember that traumatic stress can hijack the success of our business. So mental health is actually the engine for business agility in today's uncertain environment. If we are mentally unstable, regardless of how mature our business digitalization is, or how active we are in socializing with our customers via our submet, it will definitely hinder the agility process. But of course, this topic is for another day, inshallah. If the organizer invites me again, please remind me to talk on this issue. So before I end my speech, there is a quote by Bill Gates that attract my attention. That says, success today requires the agility and drive to constantly rethink, reinvigorate, react, and reinvent. So this is to say that failure is normal, especially when attempting something new, whether in business or in our life. So failure is a part of the process. We definitely don't know what to fix until we break something. So break something first and then fix later. All right, so that's what we are doing now. When we can respond dynamically to change, whether that be a crisis or a reversal of market trends, we can create new customer journeys that are relevant and promotes value. So with that, I end my speech. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Asliza Yusuf. I hope you all enjoyed this informative presentation from our second speaker. Before we proceed to next presenter, I would like to remind everyone in attendance, if you have any question during the presentation, just type it in the chat room or hold it until the designated question and answer session at the end of the keynote speeches. Now, with further ado, we will turn the time over to our next presenter for today, Dr. Dan Zhang from China. Currently, she holds the position of Vice Dean Taozhou Business School of Zhejiang A&F University, China. She also initiated the official joint program of China Foreign Cooperation approved by China Ministry of Education, which is one of her tasks in progress. For today, Dr. Dan Zhang will present a study entitled Ecological Civilization in the New Normal Era. Please welcome Dr. Dan Zhang. Over to you, Doctor.
Good morning, everyone. The topic I will share today is ecological civilization in the new normal era. The first international conference, the study is for the objectives of the study for the first international conference on economics, business, and management is the first demonstrate that ecological civilization is a creative document advocating harmony between human and nature. Second, update 1978 Brundtland report on triple bottom line. The third, establish the fundamental relationship of humans and nature based on the traditional teachings of Chinese philosophers. The fourth, apply the yin-yang principle as a dynamic, dialectic relationship between humans and nature, whose interests are diametrically contradictory. What is ecological civilization? It is a set of values and development concepts. It's enriched the Constitution of the People's Republic of China in 2018. It is a key driver in the country's transition to high quality development for the new era. It is also a philosophy, vision, and a compass for a green and prosperous future. Ecological civilization has been made in China, made in PRC, endeavor, but with global implications. So the harmony, it is meaning the harmony, which one? The harmony means man and nature as one. Chinese President Xi Jinping advocates man and nature coexist, and harming nature will eventually hurt mankind. The use of nature resources such as air, water, soil, and blue sky is unconscious and unsustainable. We should follow the concept of the unity of heaven and man and the law of the nature to seek the road of sustainable development. It is also creativity and innovation. The civilization demonstrates how far creativity and innovation has been used to manage the economy. Chinese society, Chinese and culture in addressing the ever global concern of the ecological crisis. Ecological civilization is a creative product of human imagination, presents a new idea on how humans and nature should relate with each other. For harmonious relationship, humans to treat nature with respect and judicious use of its abundant life-giving gifts to mankind. In terms of innovation, it is innovation enhanced the community for the 1987. It's triple bottom line. People means triple bottom line means people, profit, and planet. People means the social responsibility. Profit means economic responsibility, and planet means nature responsibility as critical sectors in sustainable development, where people means society, profit, economy, and the planet, ecology must relate harmoniously. Ecological Civilization 2018 pyramid, where a new key player, politics, means government sit on top to manage society, ecological and economy, introduced a new element, is culture. Culture means belief. Culture is driven by one's belief and attitude toward ecology means environment, economy, profit, and society, people. Culture hints at a higher level of human existence, where which Lao Tzu and other metaphysical gurus called consciousness. The theoretical framework of the study is Chinese ways of dealing with seeing contradictions based on yin-yang principle result in a dialectical or compromise approach, retaining basic elements of opposing perspectives by seeking a middle way, means the balance of the three responsibilities for us, for the sustainable development. So what is yin-yang principle? The Marxist dialect materialism is related, and there's the inner connection with the yin-yang principle. It is conceived as a thesis. Thesis means nature, having a self-interest to provide abundant provisions to the earth inhabitants, and the antithesis, humans, have a self-interest to survive by seeking resources from the earth. The people and nature all two related with each other in such a way that result in synthesis. Synthesis means harmonious, bearable existence. So Chinese yin-yang principle is supported by the wisdom of the traditional gurus like Confucius, Lao Tzu, and Mercurius. The methodology of the study is the qualitative. It used the documentary analysis in the demonstrating the creativity and innovation in China's approach to sustainable development. Multi-value research, which presents the pioneering concept of the ecological civilization with the government. The modified case study on China's new approach to sustainable development. In conclusion, first, ecological civilization is rooted in the Chinese yin-yang principle of two opposing environmental reality. Humans and nature working towards harmony to be benefit of both parties. Second, ecological civilization is an integrated approach to sustainable development viewed from social, cultural, economic, political, dialectical perspective. Governments takes the center stage. The third one is ecological civilization. It's a 21st century sustainable development perspective conceived after 34 years when Brundtland report on triple bottom line was published, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development of the United Nations. The first one is ecological civilization envisions a healthy global environment where Mother Earth is considered a person. The air and the atmosphere are her lungs. The river and the ocean are her blood system. The rocks and the minerals are her bones, and the trees and the plants in the forest are her skin. So the symbiotic relationship between humans and the Mother Earth must be respected and supported by the business and the government sectors. The last one, civilization beyond China calls for regionals and global ecological civilization promotion and action. ADB report in 2019. This creative thank you for your listening.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Danzang. I hope you all enjoy this amazing presentation from Dr. Danzang. And now, without further ado, we proceed to our next presenter, Dr. Kamula Bayram from Turkey. Dr. Kamula Bayram worked as an assistant professor at KTO Karatay University. She also experienced project executive with a demonstrated history of working in the education management industry. For today, Dr. Kamula Bayram will present a study entitled Education from the Standpoint of Maqasid Sharia. Once again, please welcome Dr. Kamula Bayram. Over to you, Doctor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Sister Siti Sarah. Let me start my presentation. Okay, it's very early morning here in Turkey and very nice weather today. Also, we are starting our schools today. So my daughter is starting to the first grade. We will move in a while. We are so excited. I want to congratulate for this international conference webinar. First of all, I want to congratulate our association, IMHRD, also Halolya University, and KTO Karatay University, and our university from Philippines. Well, the title of my presentation today is Education from the Standpoint of Maqasid Sharia, Maqasid Sharia during COVID-19. Let me shortly introduce what is Maqasid Sharia. The Maqasid Sharia, or the goals of the Sharia, were established through the significant contributions of leading Muslim scholars as an independent area of study. The Maqasid Sharia can simply be described as the higher goals or of the rules of the Sharia, whose implementation through the promotion of the public good, maslaha, promotes the normal functioning of society and prevents acts to harm people and society. The intent, mission, and target are simply to achieve social and economic justice and to improve community well-being. The Maqasid Sharia addresses the ultimate aim of well-being through a three-stage development. Models that being with the fulfillment of pressing needs, which we call daruriya, progresses to the satisfaction of needs, which we call hajia, and finally the satisfaction of adornments, which is tahsiniyat. Al-Ghazali presents the basic ingredients of human well-being in his book Al-Mustasfa. Sharia's primary aim is to foster human well-being, which includes preserving their religion, self, mind, progeny, and wealth. So we have 5 things to prevent according to Maqasid Sharia. First, our religion. Second, ourselves, nafs. Third, our mind, aql. And fourth, progeny, nasl. And fifth is wealth, al-mal. Whatever maintains and protects these 5 fundamentals serves the public good and is desirable. From a socioeconomic standpoint, each fundamental factor of pressing needs, which are religion, self, mind, progeny, and wealth, represents the strategic cornerstone of human well-being. After religion and self, the mind occupies the 3rd place in the Maqasid hierarchy as the human resource that thinks, considers, prepares, handles, and creates Sharia-compliant goods of well-being. Religious, moral, and technological education is therefore a required condition for the mind. Regardless of academic rigor or scientific complexity, the primary aim of education from infancy to adulthood is to create socially responsible and economically efficient individuals. This is the essence of a well-balanced human resource plan that aims to improve professional skills and cultivate leadership qualities in the pursuit of socioeconomic well-being. Needs and endowments of human resource growth are essentially a way of upgrading the necessary education to a higher level of competence and sophistication. Ability development becomes more complex as human societies move to higher economic horizons. Education will then go beyond memorization and comprehension of acquired knowledge to more logical, inventive, and creative abilities in order to tap Allah's endowment on earth. This is all based on the state of economic growth, since the use of Allah's endowments must be coordinated with the three-stage development of pressing requirements, needs, and embellishments. Sorry. Well, actually, in this presentation, I want to tackle the education from Maqasid Sharia viewpoint, which we said one of the things we have to prevent is our mind. And education is coming under this segment, which we have to maintain our education to maintain our minds and therefore maintain the well-being of nations. I want to share some outcomes of the survey conducted among 424 higher education providers from 109 countries during COVID-19. So how COVID-19 affected our education system during this period. First of all, almost all institutions that replied to the survey have been impacted by COVID-19. 59% of them replied that all campus activities have stopped and the institution is completely closed. So I can share that one of that institutions is my institution, Keynote University, where starting from March, 1 week after announcement of COVID-19 as pandemic, we shift 100% to online education. Almost all universities, higher education providers, which is 91%, have infrastructure in place to communicate with their students and staff about COVID-19. So this is a good side. And I believe that all over the world, especially these today participating universities, they have same experience. For example, when we conducted another survey among educators in Islamic finance, and we found that many of them, majority of them, 70% have never experienced online education before COVID-19, and they were not even familiar with any of these online education providing platforms. Today, at least, they are familiar at least with one. And the most, according to our surveys, the most popular was Zoom. Like today also, we are conducting our online webinar through Zoom. Despite these respondents reported an immediate challenge to ensure clear and effective communication streams with staff and students, almost 80% of respondents believe that COVID-19 will have an impact on the enrollment number for the new academic year, which we are experiencing, at least in my university. You can share your experience, especially in the international, there is a significant drop in international student enrollment. Almost half, 46%, believe that the impact will affect both international and local students. Of course, when it comes to local students, it's a bit easier. They are with their families, but when it comes to international students, they have to cope with consequences, and also they are far from their countries. There is cut of funds, for example, another problem which affected students. COVID-19 has had an impact on international student mobility. At 89% of higher education providers. The type of impact is diverse and varies from institution to institution, but everywhere it has been negative. At the same time, 60% of higher education institutions also reported that COVID-19 has increased virtual mobility and or collaborative online learning as alternatives to physical student mobility. Okay, there is not only negative sides in online teaching. COVID-19 actually, in one of my writings, I wrote that there are few areas we can call business areas, because education today also one of the business segments, which was not impacted very negatively by COVID-19. For example, when you take tourism or transportation, that yes, the impact was absolutely negative. But when it comes to education, I think we adopted very fast. And beyond that, we discover new horizons. For example, like at my university, we are starting online student mobility programs with one of the international universities, and I pray soon we will have same program with Halolea University in Indonesia and other universities as well. We are also conducting online visiting lecture programs. I was invited as online visiting lecturer to a few universities in Malaysia, in Indonesia, and elsewhere in some Gulf countries. So same we are inviting other lecturers from all over the world. So good side is this, students can benefit from different, how to say, knowledge wells from different jurisdictions, from scholars of different jurisdictions during this time. So actually online education makes it possible. And of course it's cutting funds, like it's reducing funds. Let's say if we are conducting this conference face-to-face, we have to invest in our transportation, accommodation, and so on and so forth. But this type of online conferences, they are coming at almost zero cost. Of course, there is a human effort, but almost zero cost. This is also another positive side, which we have to emphasize. Not everything is very negative. So it's a short presentation from me. I try to stick on my time, which is 7 to 10 minutes. And I hope we can discuss these issues further, maybe during the discussion. Thank you very much. Siti Sarah, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kamala Bayram, for an enlightening and entertaining presentation. I hope you will enjoy this informative presentation. Finally, we have reached the end. Our very last speaker for the day, Dr. Saniho Munir from Indonesia. Currently, Dr. Munir is the head of Epidemiological Surveillance SE Sulawesi Province, Kendari, Indonesia, and also president of Jasmine Education and Training Foundation, Kendari, Indonesia. He also a lecturer of graduate study at University of Mindanao, Davao City, Philippines, Sri Mandiri Sakti Institute of Health Science, Bengkulu, Indonesia. The title of the presentation is Economic Impact of COVID-19 in Indonesia. Please welcome Dr. Saniho Munir. Over to you, Doctor. Dr. Munir, please unmute your mic.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalam.
The topic of our discussion today is economic impact of COVID-19 in Indonesia. Rise and fall of Indonesian economic due to COVID-19. In 2019 was a landmark year of Indonesia. The poverty rate dropped to just under 10%, and Indonesia transitioned into the High Human Development Index category. The country reached positive milestone for almost 20 years. Unfortunately, 2020 also stands as a landmark year, as the COVID-19 pandemic severely impacted the life of many Indonesians, in particular, vulnerable community. Smeru's simulation results show that the 2020 poverty rate will reach 12.4%, an increase of 3.2% from the poverty rate in September 2019. This means that there will be an addition of 8.5 million poor people. What's the cause? The cause is coronavirus disease. The case is increased sharply from, and it is flat on February to December 2020, but then suddenly increased, especially toward June and July 2021, with the highest case on July 17 with 51,962, almost 62,000 cases per day. The problem of controlling COVID-19 in Indonesia. To know the real cause of the problem, government has worked extra hard, but it seemed did not identify the problem correctly. Since March 2020, government has applied several methods of lockdown, which different term, PSBB, the large-scale social restriction, PPKM, community activity restriction and enforcement, micro, or darurat, emergency, PPKM 3rd and 4th level, to lessen the crowd in order to limit human-to-human contact. According to them, the crowd has lessened to 40%. However, on the contrary, the case have actually increased, as shown in the graph before. Likewise, government has introduced vaccination program to create herd immunity, where at least 70% of the population will be covered or covered by this immunization to prevent the communicable disease control of this COVID-19. However, it found out that the COVID-19 case sharply increased right after vaccination, again, according to the graph. The graph shown the single and complete dose of COVID-19 vaccine in Indonesia, which is go high toward June, July, August 2021. But at the same time, in this period also, the COVID-19 disease increased sharply among Indonesian population. Vaccination coverage. By early August, Indonesia has secured at least 179.8 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine. Among others, 147 million from Sinovac, 16.1 million from AstraZeneca, 8 million from Sinopharm, and 8 million from Moderna. Target of vaccination in Indonesia is 208 million, or equal to 70% people to be protected through herd immunity. As of 9 August 2021, at 6 p.m., 50.837 million, or 18% people had received the first dose of the vaccination, while 24.615 million, or 9.11% people had been fully vaccinated. 9.11 to reach 70%, or 208. It is very far. So this is it's a challenge of vaccination. Only 9.11% of the Indonesian population has been fully vaccinated, one of the lowest rate in the world. 2, Indonesia lacks vaccines and human resources to support the program. The country also struggled to distribute the vaccine equally to all regions, especially to rural and remote areas. Indonesia is the biggest archipelago with more than 17,000 islands. It has become more complicated when hoax and fake news also caused many Indonesians to hesitate about the effectiveness and choose not to be vaccinated, as shown in the graph, where it is only 11%. About 147 million Sinovac vaccine are imported based on Wuhan variant, with effectiveness only 60%. Then what's the consequences? Many countries reject passengers from Indonesia who use Sinovac vaccine. Challenge of COVID-19 information. This is what the news disseminated in Indonesia, sometimes by the government official. They say there is no COVID. COVID-19 is a foreign conspiration. This is spread on social media. COVID-19 not infected Indonesian people. This is even announced by the Indonesian official government. COVID-19 is a common influenza. Don't fear COVID-19, but fear Allah, as what propagated by the religious leader. All patients have been diagnosed with COVID-19, hospital make business out of it. All patient has been diagnosed, even not infected by COVID-19, the hospital diagnosed as COVID-19. As a result, they take the patient body because they believe. As a result, the people take the patient body because they believe the patient did not die due to COVID-19. Change of people behavior in COVID-19. Massive information on COVID-19 true or hoax heavily influence people attitude and behavior. Government authority urge people to stay at home with power and politics. Traveling company applied many requests that increase the cost of traveling, that discourage people from traveling. The requirement even more expensive than the ticket itself. What the consequence? People prefer to stay at home, not to go out. And then family members are busy communicating with the world through cell phone that reduce personal and family contact and harmony. People reduce activity outside their home that ruin the social activity. And most severely, children enjoy games on cell phone and forget study. It's happened everywhere in the corner of Indonesia. Effect of the COVID-19 pandemic on business activity. Now we move to business activity. Indonesian Supermarket Association released the data until May 2021 that 197 malls were closed due to COVID-19 in Indonesia. Jakarta is the most affected region with 78 malls are closed. On the other side, Indonesian Hotel and Restaurant Association released that about 1,500 restaurants in Indonesia were permanently closed due to COVID-19. Then, pandemic causing 2.67 million people to lose their job. The total of 9.77 million people were unemployed in August 2020. 9.77 people were unemployed. 29.12 million people, or 14.2% of the country workforce, were affected by the pandemic. See, the mall, which always busy and crowded, now empty due to COVID-19. The hotel, big hotel, without occupant. I've experienced to visit Bali and went to big hotel and the occupant only 2 families. Big hotel with hundreds of rooms only occupied by 2 families. This is the impact of COVID-19 to business entertainment, business enterprise. Then the second attack of COVID-19 in Indonesia. Viruses from abroad are impossible to fly along to Indonesia. Coronavirus cannot exist in Indonesia without someone bring it in. Before April 2021, COVID-19 cases in India are less than 10,000 per day. Since April 2, COVID-19 cases increased to more than 100,000. And at April 2026, new cases exploded to more than 300,000 per day. What happened to Indonesia? On April 21, 2021, 117 passengers from India arrived in Jakarta International Airport, while India was severely suffering from second attack of COVID-19 variant Delta. Despite the claim of immigration authority that these Indian passengers are healthy, later it found out that some of them are infected by a new coronavirus variant, and this made the case exploded in Indonesia. Likewise, thousands of Chinese labor workers from mainland China are continuously entering Indonesia during pandemic. While this country is well known as the source of world COVID-19 infection, it is contrast that Indonesian people are forced to stay at home, while the Chinese worker, thousands of Chinese workers enter Indonesia at the strictly period of the pandemic in Indonesia. We can see 5 highest daily COVID-19 case on July 12th. India, Indonesia, British, Russia, and Brazil. This is mentioned here that Indonesia is 36,000. But actually, this is on July 12th. But in July 16, it's jumped to nearly 60,000. COVID-19 impact of medium and medium enterprise in Indonesia. More than 45 MSME survey noted that they had problem obtaining raw material. Very difficult to obtain raw material. Why? Because of the restriction of movement of people in Indonesia. 9 out of MSME forced lower demand for their product during the pandemic. Most of MSME found it difficult to distribute their product due to COVID-19. Why it's difficult to distribute their product? Because the transportation is being restricted to move from one to other place during pandemic. Around 44% of MSME survey had joined the online market or e-commerce channel like Tokopedia, Shopee, and so on. 2/3 of MSME took in less revenue during the pandemic, while more than 80% had lower profit margin during COVID-19. More than 53% of MSME experienced a decrease in asset value. Shock in supply and demand. How supply is shocked. Around 45 of MSME surveyed noted that they could access raw material during pandemic. However, around 47 MSME noted that they found this process difficult. Even though around 45% could access raw material, but to find them, it's very difficult. Around 3/4 of MSME survey noted that they experienced an increase in price of raw material during the pandemic. It's because of the problem of transportation. sometimes the local government prohibit transportation to enter on outside of their area. Then business experience at 20 to 40% increase in the cost of raw material. The cost of raw material used by MSME was due to logistic issue which arose from the implementation of social restriction by the government. This is the graph shown. Demand shock. After supply shock, the demand also shocked. Owner of MSME who experienced difficulty in product pricing during the COVID-19 pandemic. More than 70% of MSME reported experience difficult pricing their product. Around 88%.
Dr. Munir, sorry, you have exceed your 10 minutes of speech.
Okay. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Sriyati Munir, for such an.
Excuse me. Kindly invite Dr. Hussein Ergun if he present to deliver welcome speech.
Oh.
Given the time, kindly invite him if he is around.
Please, Dr. Hussein. Dr. Hussein is in. I think Dr. Hussein is not in.
Is Dr. Hussein Ergun around?
Dr. Hussein, I think Dr. Hussein is not around.
Okay. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Dr. Munir. All right. For last but not least, thank you to all the speakers for sharing your insight and expertise today. All right, we will now open the question and answer portion of the session. If you have any question, please drop your question in the chat room, or you can unmute your mic to ask. Okay, please welcome. Any question from the audience?
Okay, continue to plenary session.
Okay, there's no question. All right. Okay. Thank you once again to our speakers today. Okay. Before we move to the next agenda, I would like to call all keynote speakers to turn on your camera for keynote speakers group photo session. Please, Dr. Kamula Bayram, Dr. Zhang, Dr. Asliza Yusuf, Dr. Munir, Dr. Violeta. Still around, Dr. Violeta? Please turn on your camera for the group photo session. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, that's for keynote speakers session. Okay, we will move to the next agenda. Over to you, our MC for today. Thank you.
Next agenda is a break for lunch and prayer for those who commit. Due to Indonesian Central Time is revering for lunch and prayer. All participants are allowed to take a break around 30 minutes and then come back as soon as possible in this room meeting. For attending, the next agenda is presenting papers. Thank you.
at 86,000 and 38,000 of them are displaced and homeless. They are our priority beneficiaries. So the following slides just show the distribution, and it also illustrates the condition of ISFs and the areas of displacement. So everywhere in Manila, you can see images similar to this flash on your screen. So risk is defined into two, or classified into two. First, it is systemic risk, which stem from the general economic or natural environments, such as economic movements and natural disasters.
Lower extent, 14% is higher by 16% than those in the moderate extent skill development, 8%. Nevertheless, the higher extent skill development has the highest percentage recorded compared to those classified as the lower and lowest extent of skill development during the case study. Overall findings, pre-test and post-test, it can be inferred during this point that most students can be easily determine the pros and cons of decisions and the factors that can be influence decision making. In addition to that, students develop a deeper understanding of the gains and consequences